This program is brought to you by the Genesis Communications Network, a world leader in talk radio since 1998. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Broadcasting and streaming live all across America. This is Home Talk USA with Michael King, where we will discuss topics pertaining to your home with industry-leading experts. Michael King is a licensed general contractor with more than 30 years of experience in home improvements and the author of Contracting with the King. Join us this hour for our segment Invent America with your co-host, the inventor lady, Rita Crompton. Discover what's next in the home improvement industry and explore new products and innovations. Or if you have that next great big idea, learn what it takes to bring your invention to the world as Michael King and Rita Crompton talk to America's inventors and innovators. Remember, the America of tomorrow is being invented today. We invite you to visit us at HomeTalkUSA.com, one of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, we proudly present Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country, Home Talk USA, with your host, the Cajun contractor, Michael King, and his co-host, the inventor lady, Rita Crompton.
Yeah, welcome, America. That's right. Welcome to the Invent America show, part of the Home Talk USA radio family, where hour number 2 of each week, we kind of break away from tradition and talk to all the inventors out there, basically getting the entrepreneurs, the products of the future, as I promised you many moons ago. This show is probably 10 to 12 years ahead of all the other shows because a lot of our topics started just like that, getting the inventor on and learning about the technology before it even hits the market. But guess what? With the inventor lady herself, now we're talking about the process. We always did a show on the after when the product basically got to market. But now, as I said, through Rita Crompton, my co-hosts, which I'm going to welcome her right now, basically what we're doing now, right, Rita, is walking them through the process. As easy as that, right?
Absolutely. You know, America invents. We're Invent America Radio, but it's because America invents, and people solve problems based on what they're doing. You know, it's like that next aha moment. And all of our inventors today, you know, they've solved a problem. And so we want to encourage everybody out there who is, you know, they're working and they're seeing something and they go, oh, I could do this better, to do it better, and to go through the steps, because most of our economy is based on people doing exactly that.
Well, Rita, I'm looking at a tweet right now, and one of our listeners basically wants to know about market research. You know, and what I'm saying is that we've been talking about how to get the product to the market, walking you through the steps, through the, you know, licensing process, the things like that. But at the end of the day, Rita, wouldn't you agree? I like that tweet. It's that, okay, maybe I want to invent the product, but is there really a market for my product? Does that make sense? How?
Well, it does. And, you know, the easiest way to do that, and I think it's really important for inventors to do some of their own market research, and it's, you know, they don't always want to hear the answer that's out there, but go someplace that would be a reseller of your product and talk to them and show them. You know, you got a new toothbrush, go to your dentist and talk to them. If you've got a medical product, go to your doctor, the nurse practitioner. If you've got a baby product, you know, the information that you can gather eye to eye with someone. And we get some inventors that will go to the National Hardware Show with us, and that's what we're talking about today. And part of the reason they go in that early stage is to do exactly that. They can find out about pricing. They can find out about manufacturing. They can find out about, you know, oh, it would work better if the door swang, you know, top to bottom instead of left to right. So that market research that we encourage our inventors to do is early stage, and the more they can do face-to-face, shaking hands and looking someone in the eye, the better it's going to be. When you hire a market research team, all you're doing is guaranteeing that you're going to get an invoice.
Well, tell us a little about our 3 guests you got lined up today.
Sure. Our first guest, Daryl Swank, is from the Colorado area. He's got a grill product. He has been in the business for decades. And he went to the show with us a few years ago, and he's going to go to the National Hardware Show with us again this year. And then we have got Guillermo Rivera. He is from the Florida area. He has got a very cool product. He is signed up to go to the National Hardware Show with us this year. And then our industry expert is Jim Gurule. He has got a kitchen cabinet product. But he's also on the board of directors for the Kitchen and Bath Show. And so he is going to be our industry expert, really talking about the value of, going to the show, the kind of information you can gather at a show, and why feet on the ground, eye-to-eye contact is so valuable for our inventors in getting, understanding the process and getting those steps done correctly to get to market.
Well, I want to give you a great shout out because to let my audience know that you actually work very hard in getting these guests. You produce this hour of the Invent America show, and I know I have gotten you on the show many times as a guest, but you now realize how not difficult, but what's entailed to put an hour radio show per week in lining this up, and not only lining the guests, but we have to give the topics that my audience wants to know about because it's going to fail. People have to listen what we want to talk about, and I tell you, Rita, America is listening to this show. It's really growing in leaps and bounds, and I hate to say it, probably within another year, I think the Invent America show might take over Home Talk. So I don't know. People want to know.
I don't know about that.
but
the fascinating part is that people can sign up to be on the show, and I get to talk to these people I have never met. They are all over the country, and they share their stories. Well, I can have a 15-minute conversation with them and come up with 3 new topics for the show. Yeah. And so when the inventors, they reach out, they fill out the form, and I can go and look and see kind of where they are in the process and say, oh, this is our next show. This is the person I need. And I can call them up, have these wonderful conversations. So, anybody out there who's got a product and you want to be on the show, go to my website. It says right there, be on the show, and you fill out the form, and it drops into my email box.
Well, it makes it very easy because again, you can't go to B till you do A. You can't go to C till you do B. So it's like, okay, like you said, where you at in the process, and then you're going to tell them quick, this is what you need to do. So it's saving them time, and most importantly, they're saving them dollars, and in some cases, they're saving them marketing dollars without them wasting trying to find a patent attorney that might be an unscrupulous patent attorney, because they're out there. I hate to say it, but they're out there.
They are.
And, and they got a lot of, patent attorneys that we talk to on this show that are really good at what they do. They're legitimate. And at the end of the day, they want to see you succeed. And anything we can do to help our inventors out, and that's what the show is all about. But it sounds like you got a great show, a great lineup, and there's the music. We got to step away. We got to pay some bills, Rita. As you know, production is very expensive, and again, we don't charge our guests to be on this radio program. So we're going to step away. Please visit our website, the main website at HomeTalkUSA.com. You can get all the Invent America information you need. It's sitting there, the link. You can get the Invent America website. Rita Crompton's website is on our website. You can watch all the television shows at HomeTalkTV.com, and you can listen to all the archives we have on both shows, the Invent America show and Home Talk USA, which is part, again, of the Home Talk USA radio family. So on behalf of the Inventor Lady and the Cajun Contractor, we're going to take a short break. We're both going to be back. Don't go anywhere. And I think Daryl Swank's going to be our first guest with Ice Grill Brush right here. Yay!
Home Talk USA with Michael King. Do you have questions about your next home improvement project or home repairs? Now you can chat with verified home repair and home improvement experts in just minutes. Get the help you need by visiting HomeTalkUSA.com. One of the best resources for home improvement information around today. Your best life begins with your best home, and there's no place like Home Talk. That's HomeTalkUSA.com. And now, back to Invent America from the #1 home improvement radio program in the country, Home Talk USA, with your host, the Cajun contractor Michael King, and his co-host, the Inventor Lady, Rita Crompton.
Hi, everybody. My name is Rita Crompton, also known as the Inventor Lady. Our next guest is Jim Gurule. And Jim, if I mispronounce that last name, please forgive me, and you can correct everybody. Jim has got a family of patents related to cabinet installation. And I think one of the great things about our show today is that, everybody is manufacturing and selling. Everybody's been to a professional trade show in the past. And so, you've got a lot of things that you can relay to our listeners as far as encouraging them on why that show is so important. So, Jim, correct the pronunciation of your last name for me, and tell us about your product. It's wonderful that it's being sold in the Home Depot, Lowe's, and online. But tell us about it. What is it?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having me, Rita, and the way you pronounce my name is correct. So, thank you for doing that. But yeah, my background, as you know, I'm an inventor, but besides being an inventor, I'm very involved in different trade organizations. And my first patent, this is over 2 decades ago, was launched at a trade show. And in fact, if it wasn't for the trade show, I think the results and the success of that product would have been different. It was a different time, but I don't think the importance of that show would have been any different. In fact, I would say that the importance of face-to-face meetings and interactions and meeting people at a trade show is more important today than ever before.
I would agree with you. So tell us about your product.
Yeah, I do have a family of patents. My first product that you mentioned, I was a cabinet maker by trade many years ago, and as an apprentice cabinet maker, I was installing cabinets and making cabinets, and I realized, wow, every time I go to install a cabinet, I had to have these 3 steps. I had to align the cabinet, left to right, and then I had to align the cabinet back and forth, and all at the same time. And so I was using 2 or 3 different tools at the time to make that happen. And I combined that and created a prototype. Worked on it for years, had a neighbor at the time that was kind of a metal worker, and he helped me make a prototype. And then I met somebody that had, at the time, had a relationship with the largest clamp manufacturer in the country. That was Pony Adjustable Jorgensen. It's a common brand. And the CEO of that company at the time asked me if I'd be interested in meeting with him in Chicago. So I flew to Chicago and had my prototype, met with him, and shared my vision. But the other difference is I didn't just share my vision as far as the problem I was solving. I shared my vision in terms of the amount of times this is happening. So when somebody installs a kitchen, typically there's 15 to 20 cabinets, and they all have to be put together and aligned. And so I demonstrated the market value or the problem I was solving in relationship to the size of the market. And so I did a licensing agreement with them, and they did the manufacturing, and it was in many, many trade shows over the year. In fact, every year they were part of the woodworking shows and different shows around the country, and that was my first one. And my second generation of patents is kind of related to that, but it's just a little more utility of clamping products, but all related to the cabinet and installation industry.
All right. So because of all your experience at the professional shows, share with our listeners, what should an inventor do at a show to get the best value?
Well, the best value, obviously, participate in the show and tell your story. Just be authentic. Sometimes it's not just the problem you're solving, but it's your enthusiasm. It is your passion for the problem. And that energy gets conveyed to anybody who's interested in that. And so, yeah, be yourself. Have a short backstory of how you're, how you came to that. Like I was sharing before, I was a cabinet maker and a woodworker, so that gives the product a lot of value in terms of what it can do. So.
Yeah, nobody can tell your story as well as you can, and I always encourage the inventors to go with us when we're going to the hardware show because they can talk better about their product than anybody else can, and it makes a huge difference for the inventors to actually be there so they can see the process, they can understand how much work goes into it, but being part of a team is really important as well.
Absolutely, and that's where we met, and that's what you do so well at the show. If it wasn't for that last show, you and I wouldn't be talking today. So I couldn't agree with you more.
I know. Well, I'm hoping that we will see you again at the National Hardware Show. Come and stop by and say hi to everybody. And thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate it. We want to do a shout out to our GCN network. Thank you so much for hosting Invent America, because America invents. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Rita. Have a great afternoon.
You too. Bye-bye.